Hey everybody, Will Hamilton here, and in this video we're going to talk about the third round match between Roger Federer and the X-Man Xavier Malisse. And make sure you stay tuned till the end of this video. I'm going to talk about how you can win about $1,000 in tennis instruction. So we've got Federer up here, and before we actually get to Malisse, let's talk about Gilles. I'm very good at pronouncing names wrong. Simon, Gilles Simon and Fed, they of course played in the second round, and it was a 5-setter. Federer really got pushed. He won the first 2 sets relatively easily. Simon won the next 2, and then Federer won it, pulled it out 1 break in the 5th set. So I thought that match was sort of interesting because, first of all, Simon, here's a guy who didn't have a great 2010. Then he wins Sydney right before the Aussie Open and seems to be playing well. I thought Federer was going to steamroll him. Didn't happen, obviously. And the thing that really stood out to me about Simon is here was a guy who was hitting some really big shots. I mean, you don't typically think of Simon as this big, aggressive player, but he was hitting some winners from all areas of the course. There were a couple times, by the way, icon circle player, stick side they're hitting on. So this is a backhand for a righty. A couple times where he had Simon in the doubles alley, and he'd be ripping balls down the line into this tiny window here and just ripping winners. I mean, it was really impressive. Federer couldn't really just, slice and dice and play too much defense, or not defense rather, but stay a little bit passive. Federer had to be aggressive because if he wasn't, Simon would take the initiative. Now, the other interesting thing from that match is you had situations where Federer got back to his slice backhand a little bit. These exchanges here where if we have Fed up here going cross court, he likes to, the marker's kind of dying. He likes to use that slice when he's not being super aggressive. Maybe it's a bit more of a passive shot. And that's something that Paul Annacone, in working with Fed, has been trying to get him away from. Not just in rallies, but also return of serve. He wants Federer to come over the backhand a lot more. And when Simon really started to ramp up the pressure, Federer got back to that slice a little bit more than maybe he wants to. Particularly on the return in the 5th set, Federer was using that slice, and while he did get the break and pull it out, he wasn't probably being as aggressive as he wants to be, because that slice against a guy like Rafa, who we might meet later, really not an effective play at all. So, hats off. We're kind of looking at things from Fed's perspective to a degree, but Simon deserves a ton of credit because he played a great match and really, as Federer said, took it to Fed and deserves a lot of credit for making that real close. Now, the thing on Federer's end that really stood out to me, this is something we saw back in Barclays against Rafa, and that what I'm referring to is the out wide serve. So it would be here basically. So Fed's aiming for this area of the court and really trying to hit that ball off the court and get his opponent in the doubles alley or further out to start that point off. Now, this ball is going into Simon's forehand because he's a righty. It obviously goes into Rafa's backhand because he's left-handed. But particularly you look at the very last game of the match. Unless my memory serves, that was relatively a somewhat tight game. Unless memory is not serving me correctly, Federer served every single ball, every single first serve on the deuce court off the court. Slice serve, out wide, nothing down the middle. And it was interesting to see because there were typically you say, oh well, you need to have some disguise in there, mix up the serves and so on. There was no disguise. It was just everything's going off court. And Simon knew it, but what Federer did was he just said, I'm going out wide. I'm going to hit a quality first serve. You're going to start off the court. I'm going to force you to come up with the goods on the return. And Simon hit some pretty good returns. There was one in particular he hit here that was a real well hit return, and Federer stepped in and just ripped it into the open court. Man, what is up with my markers right now? They're not. Here we go. just ripped it into the open court and won that point. I mean, Federer had to come up with a tough shot, but he came up with the goods, but most of the time that out-wide serve was real effective. Interesting play there because it almost reminds me of some things Rafa does. Because if we pretend this is Rafa for a second, Nadal has no really subtlety or disguise in terms of what serve he's going to hit. If we pretend we have Rafa up here for a second, he's just going over here with his lefty spin and pulling someone like Federer off the court. That goes high to the right-hander's backhand, the one-hander's backhand, and he just forces Federer to come up with the goods. Typically, Federer's not able to do it. One of the reasons Federer has trouble breaking Rafa is that Rafa is starting all of these, on a break point, typically on the ad court, you're going to, he just pulls you off the court, high to the backhand. Big disadvantage for Federer. That's why Rafa is tough to break for a righty. So, I just thought that was a cool kind of similarity, almost like Federer is, one of the yoink pulling a play out of Rafa's playbook, and basically, if they make it to the final, you can expect Federer to give him the exact same kind of give him his own medicine, so to speak. So with that sort of discussion in mind, we've got Malisse. I'm just going to put X-Man up here because spelling Xavier Malisse could get dangerous for me. We've got this matchup, Malisse, another righty. And really what I'm looking for with this match, I don't expect it to be particularly close if Federer plays aggressive. Malisse is his backhand. I don't expect, Federer I don't think is going to get hurt in a backhand exchange. I think Federer can slice the ball a little bit more backhand to backhand than he could against Simon, who really was playing some impressive first strike tennis. The X-Man, he's not going to hurt you off the backhand side. Certainly has a nice game, but I'm looking at this match through the lens of, is Federer going to continue to be aggressive? Is he going to continue to go over here with the slice serve on the deuce court? Is he going to be, so I can just sort of make a list of this stuff. Slice serve on deuce court. Is he going to, how often is Federer going to hit the slice backhand? That's another thing to look for. And then also slice backhand during a rally, and then slice return is another thing that I'll be looking for. Is Federer going to be hitting that slice return, or is he going to be hitting it versus the top spin? Because the top spin is really, I think, what Fed is trying to work on. And then where's that first strike tennis? Is Federer still trying to just play very, very aggressive? So those are the points I'm going to look for. I think if Federer does this, and obviously if he executes, he's going to win this match relatively quickly. My bet is Federer in straight sets, because I don't think Malisse is going to have the weapons to really press Federer again, especially off this backhand side. That's certainly a safe haven for Federer to go to if Malisse is doing some damage with other parts of his game. So that match is coming up shortly, and I look forward to seeing how this goes. Now, I mentioned, there's the $1,000 in free instruction. What was that all about? Well, there is a link below this video, in the description below this video. If you click that, you will be taken to a page where you can sign up to win the courses, the instructional courses we normally charge money for. FYB Premium, Tennis RX, and then some mystery courses. You add up the price of all that stuff, that's around $1,000 in instruction. So you can go, all you got to do is click the link and then sign up with your email address. You're signing up for our newsletter, and as part of signing up for the newsletter, you get entered in a chance to win this stuff. I'm going to pick 5-ish, I don't know, maybe more. Certainly not less than 5. 5 winners from the folks that sign up, and I'll pick those winners after the Aussie Open. So with that in mind, look forward again to this match. Please leave comments what you think. Rate this video somewhere. And I will see y'all shortly with potentially a recap of this one if it gets real close, and certainly other matches to preview as well. So see you soon.